There you go, Aggie. This is Aggie. Isn't she a good-looking girl? And this is Aggie's roadmap to success. Aggie is nervous around new people, and so the video we did above is really a great way to greet. What I'd like you to have you guys do is try to arrange to have at least 1 or 2 people come by every week to practice. Now, the more you practice, the faster and the better at this she'll get. Obviously, do it at daytime instead of at nighttime, but remember, don't do it when there's a lot of mayhem outside, because that would make her a little bit more nervous. Good job.
Yeah.
It's the end of dinner time, so we got priorities over here. We got a young kid in the house. So speaking of the young one, I'm going to go over a couple things for that. So if we have the dog bed, we want to make the dog bed something where the dog can go and the child is not allowed to go to. Now, to motivate the child, what I like you to do is remember that mug thing. So get a mug, put some glue, put her name on it, put some glitter on it, some butterflies or princess stuff, whatever she's interested, and just explain and have her get her a piece of candy after Halloween, and then just say, the dog guy taught us that when we pet our dog is how we say thank you. Would you say thank you before or after I give you this piece of candy? She'll say before, and you say think about it after. There you go. Thank you. Yeah. So from now on, if you want to pet Aggie, we want to ask you to tell Aggie to sit, and when she sits, pet her under her chin like that, and then say the word sit and only the word sit. And every time you do that and come and tell me, I'm going to take an M&M and go put it in your jar. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to take that jar and we can dump it out on the dinner table. You can count them up and that's your dessert, or you can get those as a snack the next day if you don't want to have sugar that late. Now the child has a merit-based system to want to do that. And remember, if she goes over there, you go, oh, I have to take away all the M&Ms for that. Do you want it? And then she steps off. Oh, good. Whew, that was a close one. You almost lost all your M&Ms. So that helps the child kind of, the dog have better boundary or feel like it has a place it can move away from. All right, now I got these bully bites. These are from the Natural Dog Company. I'm emphasizing the because there's a company called Natural Dog Company. They make ointments for nose. I would find a place that has these, get these, make sure they're odor-free. They will be more expensive. There's a reason they are more expensive. Your nose will appreciate it later. So when you have guests come over, we didn't talk about in the video, but when the guests come over, they're gonna be sitting here and giving her some treats. And after about 5 or 10 treats, when they get to the point where they can say sit and they give her the treat, she licks it off their hand, then they should give her the bully stick. And she'll probably take it and move away somewhere, and that's fine. But the only time she gets a bully stick is when you're taking away something from that we want her to not have, or when guests come over. Now remember to practice the drop as well. So when she has something in her mouth, this is a higher value item. Better to do this with toys. When she has a low value item, drop. So we hold the reinforcer or in front of her nose, and we don't say any commands. We just wait. As soon as she drops it, we put it in her mouth and say the word drop to classify. Now remember, anytime you give a treat for this or any other command, the treat always goes in the mouth first. They hear the command word immediately after. Now also remember, you have 3 seconds to correct or reward your dog. They learn through repetition, consistency, and good timing in that 3-second window. So for all these, and there's a big difference between 3 seconds and 1 second. So try to reward her as quickly as you possibly can. And really try to emphasize all this stuff for about 2 months. After about 2 months, she'll kind of get in a habit, 2.5 months or so. The myelin sheath I talked about off camera will kick in, and she'll get in a behavior pattern, a habit of continuing to do these things. Then you can kind of slack off, and she's kind of on autopilot. Crash. Very good. That's passive training. We'll talk about that in a sec. All right, we talked about exercise. She's probably, I'm guessing, a Jack Russell Terrier, Chihuahua. I think she might have a little wiener dog in her, but who knows? So basically, she is a higher energy, twitchier dog. So exercise, these dogs need a lot of exercise. The Guardians do a great job. They exercise her every day. Most of my clients, like a couple times a week. So the exercise is great, but remember before the activity that we talked about in the video above, exercising her before that is great. If there's gonna be a crazy parade with a school that's nearby, maybe we exercise her during the day so we take off that top level of energy. We can exercise her before a walk. For exercise, there's a number of things we can do to play fetch. She likes to play fetch. We can take her for a walk. Remember, on the walk, it's more physical, it's more draining of energy to let her sniff than it is the momentum of moving around. So give yourself however many time. You got 30 minutes to go for a walk. Walk down the street for 15 minutes. When your timer goes off, if you set it, cross the street so you have fresh sniffs, and walk on the other side of the street. So now you're not worried about getting back to the home, and she gets to physically be drained and be calm. Now, I forgot to go over focus exercise. I'm going to show you guys how to do it afterwards. So practice that. If you don't forget how to do that, message me. You can go to my website, click on go to dogarmproblems.com, click on where it says dog training tips. There's a search box on the right or the bottom of the page, depending on if it's a phone or laptop. Type in focus. And a video that I have hundreds of videos that show a lot of dogs do this. So you're walking down the street and you see another dog come around the corner. If you can catch her before she even sees the dog, maybe she sees it. If you have a strong focus command, you say focus, she looks up at you, then you turn around and walk the other way. You cross the street, you walk down somebody's driveway, you increase the distance. Remember, front facing is confrontational. So if she doesn't like other dogs and the dogs are approaching her and you're walking towards her, even if you're planning on passing, she thinks you're leading her to doom. So if you move her away, the more that you move her away, the less she feels that she needs to do it on her own. This is great that she's sitting so close to me. The first time, I just petted her a minute ago. It was the first time I've actually petted her tonight. And sometimes remember, it's what we don't do that makes the dog trust us the most. We always think I'm going to pet the dog to make you feel good, but remember, anything your dog is doing when you pet them is what you're specifically rewarding. If I pet a nervous dog, I will make it more nervous, more excited, aggressive, more aggressive, so on. So if the dog is nervous, you can lay your hand on her, let her know I'm here with you without amplifying it. But a better thing to do is increase the distance between her and whatever it is, or use some counter conditioning, recreate that situation in the easiest version possible, break it down in individual steps, help her practice step number 1 over and over and over again until she's comfortable, then go to step 2 and 3. Or if it's like the sound of the mail slot, I do the counter conditioning a little different. I would have somebody out there and have her pretty far away so she can barely hear it. So I would give her a treat, and then we open the mail slot. Give her a treat, open the mail slot. Do that about 3 to 5 times. Then I would have somebody open the mail slot and immediately after give her the treat. That transition is important. The proper way to do counter conditioning is after the stimulus. So now the mail slot getting opened means I'm about to get a treat instead of meaning it's the presence of the mailman. We also talked about using a snuffle mat. Remember Snuffleupagus, S-N-U-F-F-L-E. You can get them on Amazon or Chewy. Feed her out of those. At least 1 meal a day. I would probably feed her both meals a day. But before you get that, go back to feeding her in a structured way. So not structured, but no people food. The more you give her people food, the less she's going to want to eat her regular food. She's going to hold out for it. It also promotes her approaching you guys when you're at the kitchen or the dinner table, and that's inappropriate in the dog world. And we have a little one. We don't want to have her holding a bologna sandwich, ever come and snatch it out of her hand. She'll cry, and you got to deal with it. So we want good boundary. Or if another kid comes over, she tries to snatch, the kid pulls away, so that could be a quick movement that can be turned into a nip. We don't want any of those things to happen. So teaching her good boundaries that when the people are eating, you have to stay 10 feet away. You use those escalating consequences that I went over with you, the stand, hiss, stand, march, and then the leash time out. Now it'd be helpful for you guys to put a line of painter's tape down around where the boundary is temporarily for a week or two and practice it. So when you're actually eating, you're distracted and there's the smell and all the rest of that stuff. So go in there, pass the line. When the dog comes across you, show her you have a treat, roll it about 3 feet outside the line. When she goes out there and gets it, call it out. Then have her come back and throw it on this side of the room, that side of the room, throw one in the kitchen. So out means leave the dining room, or out means leave this carpet. Throw a treat off the carpet here. So if anybody's eating here, the rule is she should not be on the carpet. Also, try to look into getting a piece of area rug or something else so you have another soft place to be, because we're taking away the furniture for one of the rules. She needs places that she can lay on, especially it's Santa Monica, but it is winter and she's going to probably get a little chilly, especially at night. Okay, so for exercise, playing fetch, scent games is something else you can Google, but exercise is best done every about 3 to 5 hours. Yawn. Okay, so before I get into the other stuff, see her ears are oscillating. When she's more relaxed and comfortable, her ears are going to be further forward. See them back like that? That's an uncomfortable, I'm insecure, I disagree, I don't like. They're going to flip back. What I want you guys to do is start paying attention to her body language when she's relaxed. There's nobody like me here. She's nice and relaxed and comfortable. How are her ears positioned? How is she carrying her head? Where is her tail? And how is her overall body mechanic? That's fine. And so once we can read neutral, then we look for, at times when she's excited. What are her ears doing there? How is her tail wagging? Tail wagging, people think means happy. It actually is an indicator of excitement. It's really more where and how it's wagging. If this is the dog's spine and this is the head, and the tail's coming off here, we'd like to see the tail. Now her curls a little bit, but you'd like to see it going parallel in the middle, just going straight back. And she'll have a little bit of a curl because of her body, just the way her tail formed. If it's up, that's more alert, assertive, commanding, dominant. Could be aggressive. It doesn't mean aggressive, but it's more in that family. Down could mean I'm very relaxed, but if it goes phallically between her legs, then that's an indication she's insecure. So you would take her away from whatever she's insecure. If you want to comfort her, you can lay your hand on her. Also, watch her lips. Dogs, when they don't like things, they typically lick their lips and they look away from things, called avoidance. So I know we're talking a little bit about people liking to hug her. Most dogs do not like being hugged. So if somebody hugs her and you see her going like this, turning away, she's saying, I don't like this. Now I'll tolerate it because you really like it. But if we know that our partner doesn't like doing something, unless we really like it, we try to avoid doing that because we want to be cognizant of them. And so she doesn't like some of those things. Dog, we like putting our face next to the dog's face and hugging them. And they don't really like either one of those things. Now, she comes up and licks you. You can say kisses. Use that passive training I talk about, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But knowing how to recognize and read her body language can go a long ways towards when you're walking down the street, she suddenly lags behind. You look and you see her ears are back, her head's down, and she's staring ahead of you. You turn and look, and there's a dog that's approaching you. You walk her away and do a little bit of focus exercise. Okay, we also talked about rules. One of the rules would be not being allowed on the furniture because the street is right here and there's a big picture window right here, and she likes to sit up here and she feels like she's on patrol. Also, we have, you can see here on the door, we have some windows. So for maintenance, what we like to do is cover them. So find out how high she can possibly look and maybe go about 4 or 5 inches higher than that. I would probably cover for the door, maybe where your deadbolt is, all the way across. I would put the paper on the outside of the door so she can't scratch it off. So now every time she goes to the door, if she can't see anything, so she doesn't feel, a lot of dogs when they bark, things seem to go away. They think the bark made it go away, so that validates it. So if she can't see it, even if she's barking, she doesn't know if it works or not. She's not on the furniture, she can't see out this picture window, and even if she got up here, she can't see because it's blocked off. And make sure you do it on these over here, especially those the sliding glass door, because that's probably a huge area that she gets animated. Also, speaking of animated, excited is not happy. So when you come home and she's excited, ignore her. Don't even look at her. She jumps up on you, try to shimmy away because that could be a way of claiming you. As soon as her energy calms down, let's say this is the dog, I start reaching for her. As soon as she sees it, she's going to start wiggling, pull my arm back and continue doing what you're doing. Don't say no. You're saying no through your actions. When you're calm, you're very attractive to me. I want to pet you. As soon as you get excited, you become invisible and I have no interest. And after a while, it'll take a lot. At first, you might only reach this far, then this far, then this far. But eventually, she'll stay calm, and you can pet her with staying 4 on the floor. We need her to start practicing self-control just because she is probably very happy to see you, but she is out of her element. She's in an unbalanced state of mind. And that's when I've seen dogs that are super happy to see their humans bite their humans. Not aggressively, just lose control of their body control. So we want to make sure that's not the case. So anytime she's doing things that are, if she gets too excited, remember, give her that time out. One thing that we didn't talk about, but I'm going to talk about because we like to dance in this house. And so when we're dancing, she doesn't like that at sometimes. And so sometimes she will nip at like guests who are over dancing. So what I do is that counter conditioning for that. So what I would do is have her on a leash over here. Make sure she's on carpet so she'll want to sit or lay down. And step on the leash so she has about this much leash. And then what you can do is take these tricky trainers. These are the tricky trainers. These are soft chicken liver treats. And they're kind of they're a meat base, but they're in a pellet form, but I can squish them. So now it's flat like a pancake. Now what I can do is I can let her, if you see her, I can turn her and have her looking wherever I want while she's chewing on it. So the first couple of times, just let her chew on it without moving it. So then what I want to do is with her here, I want to hold the treat, and if you notice, my arm is underneath. A lot of people block, so make sure your arm is underneath. Squish it and let her nibble on it while they're dancing over there. And she's on a leash, so she can't lunge over towards them. But the dance, we're going to make it progressively harder. At first, they should be dancing in slow motion. See, even that got her a little bit of a response. If she barks, then move her away or slow down the speed of the dance. You want to get to the point where she's chewing on the treat while they're doing the slow motion dance, and she's nibbling on the treat while she's watching it. Something positive is happening. Then after you do it about 5 or 6 times, then you can have them dance a little bit for like 3 seconds, slow motion, then give her the treat. And then dance a little bit more. And once you get 5 of those in a row without any protesting, any barking or grumbling, then have the dancer dance a little bit faster. If they're doing a circle, do a little part of the circle. The idea is to break it down to small steps and help her practice not reacting while that activity is going on. Matter of fact, something good is happening. So now every pirouette means I'm getting a treat. Now, eventually, we're not going to give her a treat each time once she gets past reacting. But part of her, she probably has a little bit of herding breed in her of some sort. Maybe she does have some border collies. So it's natural border collies or other herding breeds to nip at things that are moving in a way that she doesn't think is appropriate. That's why it's so important for her to have a number of rules that she sees the humans enforce. So she sees like, they've got the child under control. It's not my job. But a lot of this is instinctive. She's just going to run over there. So the holding the treat and letting her watch them dance and incorporating her. And then you can have the kids, hey, we want to dance, but you got to dance this way. And I mean, sometimes they'll cooperate, sometimes they won't. So pick and choose your battles. Okay, we also talked about other rules, and get the X mats for this. You'll have to order a bunch of them, but it just makes it a lot easier to police them. When you get up, you grab it from under the couch, unfold it, put it here, go get a drink of water, come back, fold it up, and put it back underneath. And so that way is a placeholder for her. Okay, so we also, other rules, shouldn't be allowed on this carpet when we're eating food here, not allowed over there past the line. You use that a third escalated consequence to march over there. And practice that. When she's having her snack, have her go over there. Throw a treat outside and say ouch when she gets it. And then you're sitting there across the table and your daughter's eating, and if the dog starts approaching, you hiss when she's a foot away. If she crosses it, you stand up. And if she takes a step past it, then you march towards her. And after a while, you teach her not to cross that boundary. And the dog will just come, if this is the line, she'll just come and sit and lay down right here across the line. So again, recreate situations to help her practice them. All right, we also, other rules, shouldn't be allowed in the kitchen when we're preparing food. If we're going out a door, she shouldn't go out ahead of us. Remember, we're gonna ask her to sit at the door. Go to the door, tell her to sit, back door probably, tell her to sit one time. Remember, don't repeat commands. The more you repeat it, the less you mean it. Say it once. If she doesn't sit within 3 seconds, sit down nearby, pull out your phone, read an email, whatever it is, be distracted. Then after 1 minute, go back and command her to sit again, only one time. If she doesn't sit this time, I walk away for 2 minutes, next time for 4 minutes, 8 minutes. Make sure you're seated each time you walk away. But the instant you say sit and she sits, fly that door open. After a while, she'll go sit at the door as her way of saying, I like to go outside. We also talked about petting with a purpose and passive training. Petting with a purpose is if you want to pet the dog or the dog is demanding attention by nudging, pawing, or barking at you. Instead of giving her the attention for no reason, we are going to pet her with a intention, petting with a purpose. Tell her to sit. If she's already sitting, ask her to lay down or sit somewhere else. When she does sit, pet her under her chin. Try to have everybody in the house avoid patting her on top of the head. You pet her anywhere you want, just if all things are equal, pet her under the chin. And say just the command word. Remember, she'll hear the first word you say. Good sit. Just sit. And don't say sit. Now, if I give a dog a command, I say it twice, if the dog knows it. Sit during the command stage to tell the dog what to do. Then when they do it, I pay them by giving them a treat or petting them. Then I say this command word again to put it in context. So petting with a purpose is if the dog's telling you what to do or you want to pet the dog. Remember, if the dog starts prepaying by sitting down, make sure you pet it at least once to his infinity number of pets. Otherwise, they'll go back and nudging you. Use the watchword of paycheck if you suspect someone's petting without a purpose. And even if that person did it right, they stop petting, tell her to sit again. When she sits, put her on her chin, say sit. Say, I did it right, you missed it. Remember, if she doesn't do it within 3 seconds, disengage, lean back, pull out your phone, do something else. Show her the world does not revolve around you. After a while, she'll start longing for those attention, and she's like, sitting is not that hard. I don't know why I didn't sit down. I'll sit down again. Then she prepays for it, and then you're petting her for the reason that you want. And even if you want to pet her, still make her do it. Passive training, which I mentioned earlier, is waiting for her to organically offer the behavior. Every time she goes to Booyah, or Boomtown, Booyah, sorry, different context. Every time she goes to Boomtown, just say Boomtown. Every time she comes to you, pet her and say come. Every time she lays down, since she doesn't lay down a command, pet her and say crash. Remember to come up with that list of the fun command words. Before I get to that, so passive training is just when she organically offers the behavior that you want, you will recognize and reward it. Come up with a fun word to eat. Every time she eats, call it sushi or chimichanga or bangers and mash, whatever you want to say. And every time she drinks water, my dogs, I say Heineken, the dog's going to drink water. Don't give your dog beer, it's not good for them. But basically, by coming in context, name all your individual toys. When she comes into the house, say casa or mansion or whatever it is. So you're putting all these things in context, so later on, when you tell her to do these things, she understands what you mean. Right now, if you want to pan to her, she's nice and relaxed. You can come back to me. When we come home, our dogs are jumping up, we say, calm down, calm down, calm down. The only time I hear calm down is when I'm excited, so clearly getting excited is the command word for calm down. Calm down is the command word to get excited. So when she's like this, we want to pet her in context and come up with a command word. Call it settle, zen, chill. Pet her from the base of her neck to the nape of her tail, or nape of the neck to the base of the tail, in slow strokes, about 2 to 3 seconds for each stroke, and come up with a command word that means to be calm. Settle is the word I use. Some of my words, clients say chillaxin, yoga, zen, whatever you want to say. Now you're putting in context being calm. Okay, we also went over the escalating consequences. If you forget what those are, message me. I'll go over them with you. I don't do them typically on film because I want people to do it, to hire me for it. Make sure you're eating something before you feed her. All it takes is 5 bites of a chip or cracker. It doesn't have to be a real meal, but if possible, try to feed her after you guys eat. Now, you guys' schedule, like probably most people, is chaotic. That's okay. Just make sure you eat 5 bites or something. And remember, after she gets done eating, pick up the bowl and dump it empty. Keep feeding her out of a bowl until she eats everything, and say lasagna or whatever the word is when she eats, to the point where she's eating again and you're not giving her more people food, so she's eating again. At that point, get the snuffle mat, start feeding her for that. It's a nice way to be stimulating, burning energy, and help her feel relaxed. Anything else that I forgot to go over?
I don't think so.
Okay. You're gonna come over and get that one? How about this one? So if I over encourage her to come, then that's kind of like, well, by not coming, that's not what you want. So come. So remember, create a scenario to help her do what you want her to do, but always want to have her do it on her own. All right, well, this is Aggie. Yes, Aggie. Can you sit? Don't ask, tell. This is sit. Remember, say the command word only. This is Aggie, and this is Aggie's roadmap to success. Remember, everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.